Boomers are sitting on the largest transfer of real estate wealth in American history, except there's one problem. Nobody wants to buy it. Your neighbor in Phoenix just dropped his asking price for the third time in 4 months. My buddy's parents in Tampa have been on the market for 7 months. 3 open houses, 2 price cuts, 0 offers. And here's the kicker. They need to sell because dad's 78 and the stairs are killing him. But the house they want to downsize into, 6 other boomer couples are bidding on the same place. This isn't a housing crisis. This is musical chairs with million-dollar stakes, and I'm going to explain exactly why you're running out of time to grab a seat. Here's what nobody's saying out loud. The buyers who made you rich, they're gone. The young families who paid top dollar for suburban 4-bedroom colonials in the 90s and 2000s, they don't exist anymore. Not because they don't want houses, because the math doesn't work. And while you've been watching your Zillow estimate tick up every month thinking you're getting wealthier, you've actually been getting poorer. Because wealth you can't convert into cash isn't wealth. It's a number on a screen. I'm going to walk you through exactly how this trap works, why it's accelerating, and what it means for the next 5 years. No hype, no real estate agent spin, just the incentives and the math. Think about it like this. For 40 years, you played a game where the rules were simple. Buy a house, raise your kids, watch it appreciate, sell it when you retire, pocket the difference, move somewhere smaller and cheaper, live on the spread. That was the retirement plan for millions of boomers. But that game only works if there's someone waiting to buy your house at the price you need. And that's where the whole thing breaks down. Let me paint you a picture. Bob and Linda bought their house in Scottsdale in 1992 for $170,000. 4 bedrooms, 2-car garage, quarter-acre lot, pool in the back. Classic Arizona suburban dream. They raised 2 kids there, updated the kitchen in 2006, put in new floors in 2015. Today, Zillow says it's worth $1.2 million. They're 74 and 72. Bob's knees are shot. Linda wants to be closer to their daughter in Tucson. They figure they'll sell, buy a nice 2-bedroom condo for $600,000, bank the rest, and live comfortably. Except when they list it, nothing happens. Week 1, 3 showings, no offers. Week 2, 1 showing. Week 3, their agent suggests a price cut. They drop to 1.15. Another month, 2 lowball offers, $975,000 and $950,000. Bob's insulted. He knows what he's got. The agent says the market's softening. They wait. 3 months in, they drop to 1.1 million. Finally, an offer, 1.05. They take it. But after realtor fees, closing costs, repairs, the inspector demanded, they net $980,000. Not the retirement nest egg they imagined. Now, here's where it gets painful. That condo they wanted in Tucson, it was listed at $575,000 when they started. Now it's under contract to another boomer couple who moved faster. The next comparable place, $640,000. And there are 4 other offers. They're competing with other boomers downsizing from the same oversized houses in the same predicament. This is the first layer of the trap. The house you're selling, there's too much supply. The house you're buying, not enough. You're getting squeezed on both ends. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but the market's always been cyclical. Prices go up and down. Just wait it out. And look, to be fair, that logic worked for decades. But here's what's different now. The demographics have fundamentally shifted. This isn't a market cycle. This is a structural mismatch that's going to get worse, not better. Let's talk about who used to buy your house. In the 90s and 2000s, you had a massive cohort of Gen X and older millennials hitting their peak earning years. They had stable jobs, dual incomes, and they could qualify for mortgages on houses in the $700,000 to $1.2 million range. They wanted space for kids. They didn't mind commuting. They bought your 4-bedroom colonial in the suburbs and everyone won. But here's the problem. That buyer pool has evaporated. Let me show you the math. A $1.2 million house today, assuming you put 20% down, that's a $240,000 down payment. Most young families don't have that, but let's say they do. The mortgage on the remaining $960,000 at 7% interest, that's $6,390 a month. Add property taxes, let's say $800 a month. Homeowners insurance in states like Florida or Texas, another $500. Utilities on a 3,000 square foot house, 300. Maintenance, HOA fees, all in, you're looking at $8,000 a month, minimum. To afford that comfortably, you need a household income of about $280,000 a year. According to the Census Bureau, only about 6% of U.S. households earn that much. And most of them, they're not 29-year-olds with 2 kids. They're 55-year-olds who already own a home. So who's left? Not many people. Now here's where the psychology gets interesting. Younger buyers, the ones who can scrape together a down payment, they don't want what you're selling anyway. They grew up watching their parents maintain big houses. They remember the roof replacement that cost $38,000, the HVAC system that died in July, the property taxes that doubled in 15 years. They saw the stress. So what do they want? Smaller, newer, lower maintenance, townhouses, condos, maybe a small single family in a walkable neighborhood close to work? They want 1,500 square feet, not 3,000. They want $900 a month in carrying costs, not $8,000. They want to be able to lock the door and leave for a weekend without worrying about the lawn or the pool or whether a pipe is going to burst. This is the second layer. Even if they could afford your house, they don't want it. But wait, there's more. And this is where it gets really interesting. Immigration used to fill some of this gap. Families coming to the U.S. with capital, looking to buy into established neighborhoods. But since 2022, immigration patterns have shifted. Fewer high net worth immigrants are buying suburban single-family homes. They're clustered in urban centers, renting or buying smaller properties near job hubs. The wealthy Chinese buyers who propped up markets in California and the Pacific Northwest, that wave peaked in 2017 and hasn't returned. So you've got fewer qualified buyers, and the ones who qualify don't want your product. Meanwhile, on the other side of the equation, you've got millions of boomers all hitting the same age at the same time. It's called the Silver Tsunami, and it's not a metaphor. It's a demographic reality. Every day, 10,000 boomers turn 70. Not next year, today, and tomorrow, and the day after that. This has been happening since 2011, and it doesn't stop until 2030. Most boomers plan to age in place until they can't, and when they finally do sell, it's usually for one of what I call the 4 Ds: downsizing, death, divorce, or distress. Health fails, spouse dies, can't manage the house, financially squeezed, and when you're forced to sell, you don't have leverage. You take what the market gives you. Here's a story. I know a guy, let's call him Jim, 79 years old, lives outside Charlotte in a 50-year-old ranch house. 4 bedrooms, full basement, 2 acres. Bought it in 1981 for $89,000. He figures it's worth $900,000 today. His wife passed 2 years ago. He's been managing alone, but last winter he slipped on ice and broke his hip. His daughter lives in Raleigh. She's begging him to move closer. He finally agrees. He lists the house. But here's the thing. It needs work. The roof is original. The furnace is 23 years old. The well pump is making a funny noise. Buyers see it and they see dollar signs. Not the good kind, the expense kind. $50,000 in deferred maintenance, minimum. So the offers come in low, $820,000, $790. Jim's agent says he should accept and move on. But Jim's stubborn. He knows what the assessment says, $910,000. He waits. 4 months later, he hasn't had a showing in 6 weeks. He drops the price to $849. One offer, $775. He takes it. After commission and fees, he nets around $720,000. He's got maybe $40,000 in savings. His 401k took a hit in the market downturn. He thought he'd have closer to $1 million. Now he's scrambling to find a retirement community he can actually afford. The one near his daughter, entry fee alone is $400,000. This is playing out in every suburban community across America right now. Let me give you the 4 forces that are colliding to make this worse. Force 1, mortgage rates. Anyone who bought or refinanced between 2020 and 2022 locked in rates under 3.5%, they're sitting on the cheapest money in history. Why would they sell and take on a 7% mortgage? They won't. So, existing inventory from move-up buyers, the traditional source of suburban home sales, has dried up. People are trapped by their own low rates. Force 2, affordability has collapsed. The monthly payment on the median price home in America has more than doubled since 2020. Incomes haven't. Middle-class buyers are completely priced out of the market you're trying to sell into. Force 3. Boomers are all selling into the same narrow window. You're not competing with 30-year-olds starting families. You're competing with other 75-year-olds trying to downsize, and there aren't enough small houses to go around. Builders spent the last 20 years putting up big suburban homes because that's what boomers wanted when they were moving up. Nobody built enough retirement-size housing. Now, the mismatch is brutal. Force 4. The wealth effect is reversing. For decades, rising home prices made you feel rich, so you spent more. You remodeled, you traveled, you helped the kids. But when your house won't sell or sells for $200,000 less than you expected, that wealth evaporates, and it changes your retirement math overnight. You're not just losing your nest egg, you're losing your plan. Now, to be clear, this isn't a crash. You're not going to wake up and see your house worth half what it was last year. That's not how this works. This is a slow grind. Prices don't collapse. They erode. 1% here, 2% there. Houses sit on the market longer. Sellers get desperate and cut prices. Appraisals come in low. Buyers sense blood in the water and lowball. It's death by 1,000 price cuts. And here's the really brutal part. The longer you wait, the worse your position gets. Because you're getting older, your house is getting older, and the competition is getting fiercer. Every year, more boomers are forced to sell. Every year, fewer young buyers qualify. The math gets worse, not better. I was talking to a real estate agent friend of mine in suburban Denver last month. She told me something that stuck with me. She said, "Bobby, I've got sellers who think it's still 2021. They see what their neighbor's house sold for during the COVID boom, and they want that price. But that market's gone. I'm having to sit them down and explain that if they want to sell this year, they need to price like it's 2019. That's the reset that's happening. 4 years of price gains, gone." Now, you might be asking yourself, what about the people who say housing prices only go up? What about the articles that say there's a shortage? And look, in certain markets, that's true. High demand urban areas, places with job growth and limited land, yeah, prices are holding or even climbing. But suburban single-family homes an hour from the city center, that's a different story. That's where the oversupply is building. Here's what I think a lot of financial advisors won't tell you. Your home equity was never as safe as your 401k. Stocks are liquid. You can sell a share in 30 seconds. A house? It can take 6 months, a year, and you might not get your price. Illiquidity is a hidden risk that nobody talks about until it's too late. You were counting on cashing out at the peak, but the peak already happened, and you missed it because you didn't think you had to move yet. So let me be real with you. If you're a boomer sitting in a house that's too big, too expensive to maintain, and too far from where you actually want to be, you have about a 2-year window to act before this gets significantly harder. I'm not saying the sky is falling. I'm saying the music is slowing down, and there are fewer chairs than people. Here's what you do. 3 moves. Move 1. Get a real, honest market analysis today. Not from Zillow, from an agent who will walk through your house and tell you what it will actually sell for in the current market with current buyers. And when they give you that number, don't argue. Don't tell them about the kitchen you remodeled in 2012. The market doesn't care. Buyers don't pay extra for your memories. Move 2. If you're planning to downsize in the next 3 to 5 years, do it now. Not next year, now. Because every month you wait, you're competing with more sellers and fewer buyers. The single-story ranch you want in the active adult community, there are 4 other couples trying to buy it. The longer you wait, the worse the odds. Move 3. Price to sell, not to win. I know it's painful. You're emotionally attached. You raised your kids there. But the market is not sentimental. If you price aggressively from day one, you sell fast and you move on. If you overprice and chase the market down, you lose time, money, and leverage. Buyers can smell desperation. Look, I get it. This isn't the retirement you pictured. You did everything right. You bought the house, you paid the mortgage, you maintained it, and you assumed the market would reward you. And for a long time, it did. But the game changed. The buyers changed. the math changed, and pretending it didn't won't make your house sell. The boomers who win in this environment are the ones who see reality clearly and act before they're forced to. The ones who lose are the ones who wait for the market to come back to them. It's not coming back. You've got time, but not much. Use it.